You just jumped off the Uber earnings call. What's your key takeaway?
Thanks for having me, Taylor. Well, I'm impressed by the fact that they're able to grow the numbers. And one thing that was great to see is that they're closing businesses, or selling businesses rather, that aren't number one or two in the industry. So they're eliminating a bunch of expenses while maintaining some equity in those companies.
They also moved up their profitability target, now looking for that Q4 of this year, full year profitability by 2021. That's a little bit ahead of targets. How much of that is the market demanding that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it. I think Dara was under pressure, and as he had committed over the last couple of earnings calls that he was planning to get to profitability quickly, and I think he's got a great team behind him that's been able to meet those objectives.
Mike, you were talking about growth targets a minute ago. Are there limits to growth, though? Because we've heard coming up in that call the law of large numbers. So does that suggest that Uber might be getting towards the ceiling in terms of ride numbers?
I think they still have a huge potential for market share. I mean, the numbers, it's still only 30% or so of the U.S. is on rideshare, or of internet users, that is, and they've got a huge global potential for rides.
Also, you mentioned Uber's been selling off some parts of the business. It sold that India delivery operation to Zomato. But we've just heard from CFO Chai saying that, well, Uber would lean in if it saw an opportunity to take a bigger position in the market. So does that suggest to you maybe they are looking for things to buy as well if the opportunity presents? Yeah, it does.
I think he clearly stated, or at least what I heard, was that the company is going to double down in markets where they can be number one and two, and that may mean acquisitions in some markets.
I want to talk about how much of a headwind is AB5. For a global audience, that's the California law that is forcing Uber and some other companies to treat contract workers as full employees, providing all those full-time benefits. How much of a headwind is AB5?
Yeah, I think for companies as large as Uber with a global footprint, it's not a significant hit, and they have the cash to work around those issues. And Dara did cover that. Mark from RBC asked him that question during the earnings call, and he did cover that somewhat, and they'll work through those. I think for smaller companies, some in our portfolio, they're significantly impacted. They're getting hit with lawsuits, and these are substantial for a small company that doesn't have the resources to fight or actually pay the lawsuits.